So let's review what we've done so far. So far, we've gone over landscapes, we've gone over the rubric, and you started sketching out. You started sketching out yours. You had it okayed by me, and now you've got your final piece of paper, and you drew your small version onto a larger one. Today, you're not doing anything besides practicing. These are craypas, or oil pastels. I want you today to just practice on a scrap piece of paper. I want you to just practice drawing with them and coloring with them and fading them together. I want you to try to do different things before you get to the end, so that before you get to the actual project, so that you don't mess up on your project. All right, let's just look at a few things here. Craypas are very oily. I like them because they're oily, and they're very oily because you can smear them together, and you can smear them with your finger. The biggest thing, and I said this before, if they fall on the ground, you have to pick them up. If they get smashed into the ground, they make a huge, huge, huge mess. They're very hard to clean up because they're oil-based. So, let's just look here. I'm going to fade some colors together. Let's just start out first, actually, by just smearing a color. So what that means is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to lightly color. You don't want to go too hard. But I want you to first practice smearing a color. So I'm going to come in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to smear over it just like this. And what I've done is I've thinned it out and I've gotten into all those little spaces. So, right now, press pause on your video, grab a piece of scrap paper, and practice doing this. Just draw lightly, color lightly, and then smear that craypas. When you're done with that one, grab the microphone, grab the headphones again, and we'll watch the next step. All right. So now what you've done is you've successfully smeared a color. So now what we're going to do is we're going to practice smearing and combining two colors together. So let's say that I want to fade my blue into purple, much like I did on my final project. I've got a layer of purple here that fades into blue. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to press relatively hard with the purple. But then where I want it to fade in, I'm going to slowly start to lighten up here. So it gets dark. Notice how I pressed hard there, and then I'm pressing lighter as I go up. Now, with the other side, I'm going to do the exact opposite with the blue up here. I'm going to press hard with the blue, and then I'm going to slowly, as I get close, I'm going to lighten up. So I pressed hard, and then I lightened up as I went further along. Now, you want to smear the same direction that you colored. I colored up and down this way, so I want to smear the exact same way. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to press down, and I'm just going to smear this way, and then I'm going to start down here by the purple. I'm going to smear up this way, and I'm going to combine those two colors together. So pause the video, grab two craypas, and I want you to practice smearing your project together. With this next step, what we're going to do is we're going to practice making a texture on top of an existing color. So you usually want to make sure that the color that you're putting on top is darker than the one that you already put down. For instance, if I put down a dark blue, I don't want to try and put yellow over it. It's not going to work. So let's look like what I did right here. I came in here and I put down a layer of brown, and then I made grass over the top of it. So I've got the brown here, and then I put grass over the top of it. So I've got the brown all the way down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to make just some texture over the top of it. It's just random. I'm just going back and forth putting a texture over it. You can also try if you want to. Now I'm going to switch. The further back I get, I'm going to switch to another color. Okay, I can also come in if I want to, and I can darken up some of the stuff that I've already put down. can also do it where you color it down, smear it, and then put a texture over it. So you just want to put some rocks over it. So what I want you to do is practice smearing and then putting a texture over on top of the other craypas. Now the last thing I want you to do is just free draw. Try some thin lines. Try some thicker lines. But the biggest thing is just make sure that you get in the habit of coloring in the same direction. If you're going to color something, make sure you always go in the same direction with it. So, practice. You got the rest of the period. If you don't want the rest of the period, that's fine, but I just want to see you just practice using the craypas, because in a few minutes, or by tomorrow, you're going to start your final project.